We are, of course, Hispania. We are the Empress Violeta, the Conquistador of Hispania. We are 69 years old. Nice. And we have lived a long and dictatorial life. The Hispanian Empire stretches from Germany down to the peninsula. We have completed and finished off the struggle, which is why we're the Conquistador. The Holy Roman Empire is not looking healthy. Frisia, on the other hand, is looking healthy, and so is Poland. So, the other important things in our quest for our stretch goal of forming Rome without starting any wars and with female rulers only is, if you missed last week, you will notice that we now have Rome in our hands. We persuaded the Pope to give us Rome. Sweden is Swedening. Sweden is doing that thing that they always try and pretend they didn't do historically, which is invade everyone else. Hello, new follower here. I'm a complete newbie who's only punted around with tribal raiders and I'm floored by unplotted removing. Oh, I'm glad you enjoy it. Yeah, watch the guide videos. Tribal is good fun. I do enjoy feudal more, but tribal can be great fun done well. Really good fun one to do tribal is the Rus thing. But where are we and what are our goals for today? So our goals for today are we have interesting options here. So as things stand, our plan at the end of last session was, obviously we do have a daughter. Our daughter is Infanta Aldara, who is, she's alright, she's a bit meh. But more critically, we are actually educating our granddaughter, if I remember. No, we're not. We still don't. Yes, we are. Temujeni here. Temujeni here is 3 years old. And she is the great-granddaughter, or is it great-great-granddaughter of Genghis Khan, and also our granddaughter. So one option we have at the moment is we try and get Temujeni on the throne. Now if that means we have a short period of ruling as Aldara, it's not the end of the world. In an ideal world though, we'd keep Violeta going for another 10 years, which is hard but not impossible, until Temujeni was old enough to take over. The benefits of Temujeni taking over are Temujeni is betrothed to Alan II Alanez, who is the heir to the Byzantine Empire. That is option one. Downside with that is he is a dwarf, but we will try and have sexy times with other people who aren't dwarves and convince him that the babies are his. That would unite the crowns of Byzantium and Hispania, at which point we can look at finishing our final bits on our quest to form Rome. There is another option. The other option is that we see how long we gamble that we're going to outlive Alan, who is fine, but part of that is just kind of general benefit stuff. It's not impossible for us to outlive Alan. If we outlived Alan and murdered Alan II Alanez, then Alan's primary heir is his granddaughter and our former ward, Infanta Maria Andragotes, who is frickin' brilliant and has already had a genius pretty daughter. If we re-inherited Alan and Alan died before we did, then our heir would become Maria Andragotes, the Empress of Byzantium, a 1327, 14, 18, 19 ruler. So, given that we know when we're going to die, theoretically, because we have Know Thyself, I am kind of tempted to at least temporarily put Alan back in the inheritance. And if it becomes clear we're going to die, we just disinherit him again. And if Alan doesn't die, then we just switch it quickly to our daughter. The only issue with this plan is if our daughter dies. It might not be a problem, actually. I don't think it's an issue if she dies first. The main thing we'd have to do is there's a 7% chance she'd accept. That's outrageous. She should. Like, the fact that there's any chance of that is insane. He really hates his mum. Yeah, Alan kinda really does hate us. To be fair, we have killed a lot of his children. We're also excommunicated. Like, we could kill another one of his daughters. Like, we don't need Sancha. Let's just murder her. So I think we temporarily re-inherit Alan. Like, Alan won't die before us because he's fucking Alan, and Alans never always screw us up. But it's not impossible. It's not like we're short on frickin' prestige. Yeah, apparently he's forgiven us for murdering his all of his children because we put him back in the line of succession. Now, the issue with this is that if Alan dies now, Alan 2, to Alan, actually technically inherits. But I don't think that's a problem because his primary heir is Maria, and we can murder him because he's our grandson. Aldara might be more amenable to taking the... Yeah, she would, but we don't want to do so because we do kind of need her kids still in the succession. What we do want to do is... Where are you at, dear? We do want to give her a job so she doesn't sod off. We could... We've got another lady in waiting position, so we'll give her that. Like, she doesn't dislike us, so she's not going to try and kill us. CK3 conversations turn self-incriminating very quickly and very often. Yeah, they do. The thing is, my window's open, so it's entirely possible that someone's just walking past my house and they just hear me going on about murdering my grandchildren. Right. We also do have a faction that's about to rebel, but we kind of want them to rebel, and we will kick the shit out of them when they do. So, that's fine. We have given our husband lover's pox. As part of my ongoing plan to murder Sancha, some of my minions will regularly intercept her letters. Due to my expert comprehension of Basque, I could personally read them rather than relying on second-hand translations. Yes. We will do that. Good morning, Nicorot. How close are we to this? 6 months. So this is going to give us a chance to do a bit of kingdom rearrangement, which is useful. This stream, by the way, is brought to you by Bird and Blend, and our tea today is actually morning kick. We are back on the actual warm tea for once, because it's a bit more chill this morning, and I just quite fancied some actual warm tea for once. So !Tea will give you a link to the Bird and Blend store. They make lovely, lovely tea, and ultimately, if you buy tea via that link, you are helping the stream. But you're also just getting really good tea, and if you use the code TheBrit, they will send you free tea. They will actually send you free samples of tea. Who does not want free tea? The morning kick's just great. It's a really nice kind of like, it's got a bit of a kick to it, understandably, given the name. But it's actually one of the things that's largely weaned me off coffee, because I don't really drink coffee in the mornings anymore, which I used to drink a hell of a lot. Look how much stress we lose for that. That's insane. So yeah, we have inheritance options. We also have 2 royal court events. Let's do these before we do anything else. The pageantry of court continues day after day, from dawn to dusk. Romani extemporizes on my greatness, spouting platitudes and praises. Nearby, Mayor Sibilia joins in, playing the crowd. Yeah, whatever. Lose stress and some opinion. Spend some court grandeur and they lose some stuff. Well, take a little bit of stress. It's only a tiny bit of stress. It's fine. My daughter Nanilla, the syphilitic, is weird. Nanilla, just chill. You're a frickin' nun who's been shagging around and I've protected you a lot. So be good with it. The serving staff of a court is often conveniently overlooked. Some will be convinced to let information slip to my guards. Mr. J. Darlington redeemed a histofact. The rent for the island of Malta, which was when it was held by the Knights Hospitaller at the grace of the King of Spain, the annual rent for the entirety of Malta was 1 Maltese falcon a year. And also, how the fuck have I just lost the patronage of said holy order? Oh, because I've just got the knights. Have they changed it so you can no longer have 2 holy orders? Have they finally fixed that? Interesting. Interesting. Because you used to be able to essentially, if you could take over another territory that had another holy order, and you could get control of 2. So they must have actually finally fixed that. You've also just seen how we managed to get Rome off of the Pope before, which is by persuading the Pope to give up de jure territory that is ours. It seems that the efforts of my steward in the county of Obertello have finally paid off. They have joined us. The Pope is pissed off. We are gradually getting hold of territory from the Pope. So presumably we now have the knights. So yes, the rent for Malta, histofact, was a single Maltese falcon every year. Which is not bad rent if you think about it. Right, let's continue to get land off the Pope. You are de jure liege, but not the current ruler of the target county. So why can't I go for that then? Surely that makes it valid. What is that part of? Is it that that actually isn't part of... No, it's part of the Duchy of Latium, so we should be able to get it. Coin bird or black statue? The bird. The actual bird. Why can't I convince that to join? That's interesting. I mean, it's not the end of the world for us, because we don't really care. We're just delanding the Pope for shits and giggles at this point, because we already control Latium. Right, 1 month. Where are you guys popping? Because once you pop, you can't stop. Good morning, bringing the revolution. Yeah, so they're probably... He's the leader of this. So I think we will... I think we will raise... I'm interested that they've now fixed that multiple Holy Order control thing. I think that's probably for the better. Now, it wasn't a huge issue, but it was an issue. And raise the rest. And raise the rest. I'm kind of hoping they just fire straight away, but we'll see. Rhinos plotting against my husband. How dare he? Interestingly, they've suddenly decided that they really don't want to go. Now they can go at any time. Why aren't you going to go, guys? Come on, you know you want to. Sancha will attend a local celebration in Briganza, and I happen to know that she is a bit of a wine aficionado. I could lure her into the cellar of my castle for an exclusive tasting, and then make sure that she never walks out again. That cellar must fucking stink by now. There's so many people walled up in it. Like, you can imagine the kind of the future, like, roundabout now. Like, the tours people would be giving of our castle. And, like, it would just be, yeah, dead body. Skeleton, skeleton, skeleton. Behind this wall, we found a skeleton. This wall is interesting. We didn't find a skeleton behind this wall. Sancha is dead, walled up, and soon to be forgotten. Sorry, Sancha, you were actually quite a good character, and I'm really a bit sad we have to kill you, but you know. Mostly it's because we're trying to get your dad to die. Do you have any friends yet? You do have a friend. Does he want to die? Your friend does want to die. Perks. I mean, we have to stay on this track, basically. We don't have a choice. Right. So the reason I'm doing this is because we're not at war. Pay a hunter to draw a map, and can we actually get anyone in on that scheme? We can't. Shocker. That should still work, hopefully. Does it count as serial killing if it's by royal decree and a third party? No, exactly. So the reason I'm repeatedly disbanding, then re-raising this troops, there we go, is, so just to finish explaining that before this kicks off. When you get to this stage of the game, war is so much about supply. And supply is going to run out quickly, and we're going to need to split up our forces at various points to get supply back. He's probably going to stay loyal. He might stay loyal. Now, it is useful for me to have all my troops already raised when the rebellion kicks off, because that means I get a jump start on them, because they've got to raise their troops, so I can now sprint and try and catch some of their troops before they can group up. But obviously, they don't necessarily kick off when you've got all your troops raised. So by disbanding them and re-raising, I'm essentially sort of rolling the dice again to see if I can get them to fire whilst my troops are already raising. The other benefit of doing it this way, if you notice, is when I drop them, they were already losing supply. So they would already combined, they'd be down to like 80 supply. The moment I disbanded, and the instant I clicked raise again, it reset their supply total. So if you're not in a war, because if you're in a war, you get a penalty before you can raise your troops again, and you're facing rebellions, it's actually in your interest to raise them, let the supply drop to 80, disband, raise again, disband, raise again, disband, raise again. It's a bit micro, but it is a really good way of making sure you get a jump on your opponent, but you get a jump whilst also benefiting from the fact that you're not going to end up losing supply in the meantime. Not that important early in the game, but once you start getting to this stage where wars are so much about supply, it can really make a difference. I will not be threatened. Rally the troops. Right, what are we looking at? We know he's got about 10k troops. So we're going to sprint for him, see if we can get him. We know in total we're facing about 69k, so I think what we're actually going to do as well is raise stuff. Bit time cruiser. Troops says no wars. How do you raise troops while not doing wars? We can't stop people declaring on us. We can never declare wars on other people. So yeah, we're not allowed to use the declare war interaction in any way. But it would basically be impossible to do a game where we couldn't, other people couldn't declare war on us. There'd be just way too much RNG in it. Yeah, self-defense, and it's absolutely fine. Now, I think what we're going to do is actually pick up some mercs, maybe. Like, I'm not that worried that we're slightly outnumbered. Not least because we can probably call in some house members to help. So we could get... Let's get Alan involved. Let's let Alan do something fucking useful for once. Oh, hey, welcome to the map, Jerusalem. Who is also of our dynasty. I think we're going to need to get that off of him. Yeah, come join us. Maybe as the Canary Islands you can play a pacifist run. You probably still couldn't. A pacifist run would be really interesting to try, but... just put a new batch of tea in my cold brew bottle. The cold brew bottles are amazing. If you do this tea, you will see mine. Or you'll see a link to where to buy them. I've got a bottle in the fridge for later. Which is good. Yeah, most of the rebels are actually in Italy. That's fine with me, because they're going to have to come over to my capital. So it actually means it's going to take them time to gather and get over, which is good for me. Now, what we do kind of want to do is maybe we do want to get a few mercs. Just because it stops them hiring them. Like, it forces them to hire some of the more expensive ones. And to be honest, what I will do is throw them straight at his troops because they're closer, which means they might pin them long enough for my troops to get over there, because we're only going to face 12k there. But I do want to move the other 30 down just to see if we can do it. I don't want to be in command of this army. Captain Donato is nice. Jerusalem's in, and Alan's in. So basically, we will lose that, but that's fine. I don't mind the Mercs getting the shit kicked out of them, because it meant we could sweep in and just absolutely smack his fucking forces around. Oh yeah, baby! And that's how you fight independent rebellions. Absolutely, totally planned. Completely planned. That was absolutely what I intended all along. Not a pre-record. Totally, absolutely what I planned all along. Honest. AFG Solus 01, welcome to the stream. And Marius Banana, thank you very much for the follow. Like, I'm not going to say that that was planned. It absolutely wasn't planned, but it shows the value in doing that, like I did that disband, raise, disband, raise, disband, raise, and then using Mercs to pin them while I brought the other forces down. If you've got the money to do it, it's a really, really good way of making sure you get that initial thing. Because particularly once you hit this Empire level, one of the big problems you have with faction wars is just how long they go on for. Because they do then mean that other factions can kick in. But you are all in prison now, lads, and that means we have some redistribution of wealth about to happen. And the good news is our steward didn't go. Our chancellor did. So King Chill the Impaler would quite like to be that. He is our vassal and friend, so he's not going to rebel against us anyway. He's got 8k troops. I feel like we should actually give him that title. He's about to really like us as well, because one of the things that we're going to force this guy to do... So what we can actually use this as an opportunity to do is do some title redistribution. In Australia, we once had a political candidate quit during the press conference to announce his candidacy. That's pretty impressive. A little bit of Burgundy floating around there. You, sir, are going to give me every single one of your fucking titles. And then we will let you go. If you... Oh, you haven't got any money. No, you can stay in prison then. In a dungeon. Right. Now, if I remember rightly, we should have got... Someone's got titles over here who rebelled. So let's get all of these off of everyone first, and then we'll work out what we can do. Right, we can grant rightful vassals, so we will... But as long as they didn't rebel, we can apparently vassalize Count Orvar. Who are you? Oh, okay, yeah, come on in. Join the party, pal. I see that the ladies' football club of yours are playing about 10 minutes walk from where I spend my teams. Yes, they are. Second game of the season. For those who don't know, you should absolutely, if you want to get into... If you're in London in particular, but you don't have to be in London. London Seaward FC, particularly if you like your history, you know, you're not going to find many independent women's clubs or ones that have got a nice, really cool naval and maritime name and or connections. London Seaward FC. I am their head of brand and narrative. Brilliant football club, focused on not doing pay-to-play for women's football. So it's all about kind of dropping barriers and inclusiveness and bringing in people from communities that... Often what you find, particularly around here in East London, is you get lots of communities that... They're not like kind of outright misogynistic, but it's that they don't support girls to play football as much as they'll support their sons to play football, if that makes sense. They're football mad, But it takes a little bit of getting over the barriers of seeing it as a valid thing for their daughters or whatever to do. And what it often means in women's football terms is it's often people from those communities who struggle to get into football, because so much of women's football is pay to play. You know, you've got to have a sponsor, you've got to do all of that kind of thing. And actually, what Seaward do, what we do at Seaward, is we don't care. We will find the money somehow to allow you to play. And by playing for Seaward, it's stupid things like you get your own kit. Like a lot of women's teams, you end up with, like, say, 20 kits that have to be reused by different people. At Seaward, when you play for us, it's your kit. You get to take that home. It is your kit. It is a unisex or women's kit. It's not a kit fitted for men. And you get players say things like, "This is the first time I feel like this is my kit, not my brother's." So yeah, it's absolutely a good cause to, even if you're not in East London and can't come and watch us play. Like, we actually have a Patreon, and like, if you just like the idea of supporting women's football, you know. But it kind of annoyed me slightly after the Euros when everyone was like, "Oh yeah, go see your local women's Super League team play," and I'm like, but they've already got fans. They're already doing all right. You know, you wouldn't turn around if England won the male Euros and say, "Go watch your nearest Premiership team play. Support your local Premiership team." You'd say, "Go support the grassroots," and that's what Seaward are. The equivalent of League Two in footballing terms. But we're on the rise, because the nice thing about the culture and ethos we do is people want to play for the club. They give their all for the club. So we're pushing for promotion this year. So even like £3 a month just makes a huge difference. So there's the Patreon link in chat there. We should maybe do a stream. One of our runs should actually be creating the London Seaward Empire. I still need to do the ruling all the isles challenge. Maybe we do the rule all the isles and we create a custom kingdom of London Seaward. The Seaward Kingdom. And yeah, playing Cheshire United away today. First home game of the season is actually midweek, which annoyingly I'm going to miss. Because I'll be in Sweden for PDXCon. But we'll be back. We're also actually sponsored by a training company from Portland in Oregon now, because they just really like what the club does, and they were like, yeah, it kind of matches our values of getting women into tech. So we're like, yeah, sponsor us. So we might do a Seaward Kingdom run. Do it as our London Seaward one. Right, anyway. So let's carry on our redistribution of titles here. So let's get the... So there were other titles that were really, really... This guy over here is one of the ones who rebelled. Let's have a look at who we've got in our dungeons, because what we want to be doing is using this as an opportunity to break up some shit. So let's have a look at some contracts. So firstly, he's the Duke of Upper Lorraine and he's only got 3 titles. He does hate us, but I think he's just going to hate us anyway. Let's get that off of him. I mean, we could just let him out. But I tell you what, let's modify his vassal contract. We'll use it as an opportunity to... We'll get a weak hook on him. There we go. Nope, different one. Right, he's out. You are going to absolutely always have forced partition. To be fair, I might drop that to 0. Because it's always going to give his heirs a negative opinion of us, and we don't need the money. Let's just do that. Right. Who else do we definitely want to do stuff with? I think for a lot of these we're just going to take titles off of them. And then redistribute. I think that is most likely. It's our Norwegian Catholic. Right, just give me all of those. Can't take Modena off of him. Make him hold only titles with no land. What? How does that work? I think you're just a prisoner now, so you can go. You've got no money. Let's stay in the dungeon then. If you can't pay your way out, you're going in the dungeon. CK1 is cheap. Oh, maybe... You know what we could do is... it's bank holiday tomorrow. I could do a CK1 stream. I've not played that in years. You are going to... Oh, get you with your fucking vassal contract. Well, I guess we know what we're doing with you. Gotta watch this because we're near the month tick. I believe, sir, the word is yoink. Right. That means at least his heir can't fuck with us as much. You, sir, will be giving me everything. You have gold, sir. Let's just ransom you out. Right, let's distribute some of these 27 titles we're sitting on before we do anything else. So, let's look at the opportunities this gives us for seizing territory. Now, this title should be joining our realm, because he is Prince Sparu of Aquitaine, who is the son of King Dado, who is our spymaster. So, what we kind of need... Interesting that he's not... That's interesting. I'm not sure that's going to work, you know. Really interesting watching the post-faction war work and redistribution. I tend to leave them in prison so they can't... Which is fine, but then they screw over your relatives. The best thing you can do after this... So what we're doing now is... What I'm really doing is... One of the reasons I revoke is... One of the reasons you get people strong enough to rebel is because they'll have built up other bits of territory. And so this is the best opportunity you have to rework contracts. So it allows me to turn around and go, right, actually, I want to make sure that people who had too many titles before no longer have too many titles. So one of them, I'm pretty certain, is this chap over here. So here's a really good example. So look at Duke Nizam here. So Duke Nizam is the Duke of Asturias. He also happens to hold a bunch of titles over here which are rightfully part of the Kingdom of Aragon. This means he is a powerful vassal whilst also only being a duke, and we're at an empire level where we really only want our powerful vassals to be kings, because at least then there's less of them and we can deal with them easier. So actually one of our priorities for releasing him out of prison, and one of the reasons we want his titles, is because by revoking these titles he's going to lose his dukedom. That's going to leave him with these two titles left. Now, what it means I can do is if I revoke this dukedom off of him, like so, I'm now going to ransom him out, because he's now just a count. When he has finished ransoming out, and I'm actually going to take the ticks, because I want to show you this. Yeah, imprison you, whoever you are. He is now free. But what I can also now do is I can grant vassals to rightful lieges. So I can turn around and go, well, actually, these vassals are now part under the King Chill, our Chancellor. So not only have I turned around, and we can actually do that with the Duke of Coimbra as well. We can actually transfer the count here over to that person when we release that. So what we've essentially done is now when we give out, so let's now go and we'll give out this title again. So we're just going to grant this to a local noble. It's fine. Just for the sake of this. You fucking hate me. That's fine. It's because I own too many titles. We're going to turn around and go, you know what? You can be the new Duchess of Asturias. We are going to create in the other thing here. We're just going to grant that to another noble. We're going to turn around and now say, actually, do you know what? We've now got a title that you can have. So even with our massive penalty, which will change in a minute, she now really likes us. What we've just done is we've massively reduced the power of that duchy. Because now she only has 900 troops. She also only controls the rightful territory in Asturias. We've pleased Aragon because we've sorted his kingdom out and sorted all of those things out. And spot on. We've now used that rebellion as an opportunity to just sort out our titles so much better. And to just deal with some of the title spam that's been picking up. So never miss an opportunity to use a rebellion to redistribute land. Don't just think of it as a way to give out random titles to people who like you. Think about what you actually, how you want your kingdom to be composed, particularly at empire level when you really, really don't want to be micromanaging everything. So you'd rather have one or two powerful vassals rebel than lots of tiny little vassals rebel. It's easier to deal with. So just use these opportunities to sort out your title redistribution. Oh, I'm glad you found that helpful, both of you. Now, we've also got a duke here we can transfer, but we don't want to transfer that over until we've dealt with the rest of the people who are in prison, because I think that is a title we're going to take off of someone. So let's go back to our prison stuff, when I can remember where prisoners are. Right, mayors we just release. It's just free money. Count Johannes of Anses. You are just going to get your title revoked, just because we can. Let's just ransom you because you got some cash. Count of Syria. Catholic and Andalusian. We'll just revoke because we can. Yusuf Gonzalez. Oh, you're considering stuff now already. You are considering stuff already. So let's have a look at this dukedom here. So he's the Duke of Navarra, and he's got 2 titles in Navarra. So actually, Kingdom of Navarra is one we could do something with. Whether we want to do something with it is another question. But it is a handy kingdom title for us to do stuff with, because it's quite a small kingdom. But we might not get a chance, just because we've got to do this redistribution. Like, everyone's going to hate us right now. I'm not worried about everyone hating us right now. That's just the nature of it, because we're revoking so many titles. Who else is in prison that we can revoke? Dealt with. Countess of Syracuse. Oh, we quite wanted Syracuse. We will have that. Thank you very much. That is a perma-yoink to us. For now, at least. Duke Domenico of Tuscany. Now, you only have 3 titles. You do hate me, so that's just a revoke and redistribute, I think. Don't forget to ransom people after you do this, because actually that's the nice thing about revoke and ransom, is you just actually make a lot of money off of it. Duchy of Luxembourg, 3 titles, so let's revoke. And ransom. Count of Veku of Valadoid. Damn, son. Famous champion. Just revoke. Ransom. You are almost dead anyway. We can't revoke, so we're just going to ransom you. Duke Constanzo of Spoleto. So the nice thing is, where we can revoke titles, we do. If we can't, we take hooks and we use it to modify contracts. Malta. Known criminal, revoke. Ransom. Done. Duke of Lower Lorraine. Revoke. Ransom. Done. You are the Prince of Aquitaine. We just ransom you for a favour. Yeah, why not? Let's go with that. Duke of Augsburg. 4 titles. Sucks to be you, my friend. Now you have 0 titles. Count Wilhelm. No valid reason, just ransom. He's probably someone else's. You look like a fun, sterile lunatic guy. Let's just let you get as far away from me as possible, shall we? The Duke of Coimbra. Really handy title, Coimbra, because it's a very small one. Very handy if you want to do our stuff we were doing, where we were kind of giving things out. He is still heir to the Mongol Empire. Kind of pissed off. We have both the heirs to the Mongol Empire in prison, which is quite funny. Revoke all of that. And ransom you. Maghrabi called Oleg in Malta. Yeah, it does. It does get some kind of going on like that. It's quite cool. We will do an actual maximum Alan run at some point, which is a pain. Yeah, we do need an Alan emote. So if anyone has any ideas for Alan emotes, then go for it. Because then we just do max Alan run. Where did I get that? You'd have to tell me what that is. Do remember that I'm on a slight delay, or you're on a slight delay rather. Right, I feel like we're slightly over our domain limit here and should probably do something about it. So let's maybe think about redistributing some of this stuff. Now the obvious one to do here is a bit of a safety call, which is going to create someone quite powerful down the line, but we can deal with that. Because as things stand, the risk we've got is if he inherits that title before our spymaster dies, then he will become an independent ruler of Sardinia and Corsica. And Aquitaine won't leave our kingdom, but it will go to someone else's heir, and that will stay independent. And we kind of want that because we need that to form Rome. We need Tunisia. So I think whilst it potentially creates a future problem, we actually need to give him a title. So we're going to need to give him that title. And I think what we want to do is give him a kingdom. So we want to give him a kingdom to do this. Now the easiest kingdom to give him, I suspect, is going to be the Kingdom of Navarra, because we hold it and it's quite a small kingdom. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to make him because it is Prince Sparu, I think, who's the heir. Let's just double check so we get this right. Yeah, so Sparu, we are going to grant the King Navarra to. So we're going to grant him Pamplona. That makes him our vassal. We're now going to make him the Duke of Navarra. And then we're also going to make him the King of Navarra. Now he should be able to hold on to that because Daddy should ally him. Unless Daddy hates him, Daddy will ally him. And we can actually grant some titles over. So let's get those done as well. Now, he is now an independent king, and that means that when King Lurku here dies in a tragic accident, we might as well try and speed him up. I know he's 67, but let's see if we can speed that up a bit, shall we? Anyone want in? Damn, dude's quite popular. When he dies, because he is already a king, that means he can't inherit a separate kingdom because he already has one within ours. So that will mean that Sardinia and Corsica will join our kingdom. So the kitten rearing and socialising ideas. Oh, good. I'm glad they went really well. Right, so we're down to 49 titles we need to redistribute. Now, to a certain extent, we might just want to create some random rulers around here. Like that, we just give to someone. It can be a local Castilian noble, and then that should mean we can just transfer him to King Sparrow. Which is fine. I think we're keeping hold of most things. Soria we can just give out to a local Basque noble. When we die, we can finally move our capital somewhere useful again, which would be good. Right, we currently control the... So this is part of the Duchy of Beja, and I think that is one we're going to give to people. So... who are you? Oh, you're betrothed to the son of King Chill. That's why he can't rebel against us. That's probably not a bad idea. So our grandson is actually already... Right, I think, because he's our grandson... Do we have any other kids that we want to set up? We've got our son and rival. Let's not do anything with him. He's already the Duke of Aragon. Nunilla has had a fascinating life. She was born in the purple. She was a profligate. She's a profligate nun who is irritable, a drunk, and a fornicator, and she's got lover's pox and is a genius. We can't move the capital yet because we've already moved it once, and the problem is it is technically in our default because we had to make don't forget we made Galicia our default kingdom because we wanted to end the struggle. It's why we're Galician, not Basque, and we really need to get back to Basque. And she's our best friend, yeah. It's annoying that we can't... We could totally make Nunilla rule after us. How can we even do that? We shouldn't be able to do that. She's fucking nun. I don't believe Hispania has a default capital of its own, no. Unless it's Toledo, maybe? Like, maybe it's Toledo. I feel like we want to give that in some way to... What about if we've got Nunil and Nuniles? Right, Nunil and Nuniles, we want you to marry someone. Because she's at my court. Give me someone with traits. Hey, Basque dude. Nice. Don't like I'm pausing, but we're going to have to. You, sir. Would you like to be in charge of Lisbon? And that one. And you can... whatever the hell that duchy is. Beja. Way too many duchies. This is the only problem when you get to this size. It does become an element of micro. And we would actually also... you, sir, can be king. Right, what kingdom is this? It's not Galicia. The Badajoz. Where you at, Badajoz? Badajoz. Now, presumably... that means we should be able to give him some vassals, shouldn't we? Apparently I can nominate for the Holy Roman Empire. Can I nominate myself? No, so I don't care. Oh, no, honestly, it's not beyond you. It really, really isn't. Just don't forget, I'm playing this at kind of chess master level. Most games are not like this. Like, one of the things I love about CK3 is this is, to me, an aberration. I wouldn't normally play this big. It's at its most fun when you're just playing as a little duke somewhere. So honestly, I would just give it a go. This is the stuff you do after knowing the game for like 1,000 or 2,000 hours. Right. So these titles here we just need to grant to... let's give them to Andalusians. I might give him one more, you know. Let's give him Evora as well. Just because... I kind of worry about him having to deal with his neighbouring duke. So he's now got Badajoz, which is good. Yeah, that's it. That's what I love about it. It is a story game. You can just have your own little fun just doing stuff. Right, let's just get rid of some of the random shit that we don't care about. Right, Luxembourg, grant to Galician. One of you gets to be the Duke of Luxembourg. find it. Duchy of Luxembourg. Grant. Have the vassal. Right. Let's have a look down here. So, firstly, we need to deal with this over here. Border marches, nice. That's going to go to Galician. So where it's slightly annoying that we're not Basque. But most of these people will just convert anyway. Count Flane, you are going to really enjoy life. Because we are going to grant you that and that. That title there. And we are going to make you the whatever the hell this one is. Is it Lombardy? You are going to be the Duke of Lombardy. Congrats. Which means there's probably a bunch of other randos round here. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Grant. Grant. That can go to a rando. Right, you, sir. I am going to give you low tax obligations, but I am going to force you to partition. So that means that when he dies, land will break up. Unless he's got not a lot of heirs. Right, this is also part of the Duchy of Lombardy. So you get that as well as a vassal. Now, what is Lombardy actually part of? Is it the Kingdom of Italy? Yeah, we don't want to be giving out the Kingdom of Italy. Italy's too powerful. So we are going to keep hold of the kingdom. Yeah, I do have lots of back content on my YouTube channel as well. Right, so what we got left to give out? We need to deal with Tuscany. Let's deal with Tuscany. So that's Romana, which we are keeping hold of. So Rome we are keeping hold of. And builds like fucking churches, you arsehole. Savoni's quite nice. Denvek! Thank you very much for renewing your Prime subscription. That is gratefully received. Right, Spoleto we can give out. Spoleto is going to a noble of Galician culture. We will give them Tirano as well. And you get the Duchy of Spoleto. When we find it. Lanciano goes to a rando. And then we transfer the rando to you. Now, these ones round here will be Tuscany, won't they? Yes. So let's go with Tuscany. Tuscany can go to a rando. You also get Siena. Then we give you the Duchy of Tuscany. We create a random ruler in Modena. And we transfer you over. Oh, was Modena not? I thought Modena was Tuscany. Oh, it's Duchy of Emilia. Oh, okay, well you can have the Duchy of Emilia then. While we're here. So we need to get rid of it. Right. Is this Tuscany then? This is Tuscany. Okay, that just needs to get someone... Oh, this is because we got the Knights Templar, so we do need to hold on to that. Yeah, how come she's shaded? Honestly, it's just because we've just revoked a ton of stuff, so we're sitting on 7 more duchies. So that will tick down again as soon as we finish redistributing land. So we're in the redistribution land spreadsheet stage of a rebellion, basically. We need to sort out everything up here. Now, partly this, actually, we could give Tuscany away, because that would just restore us to patronage of the Hospitallers. So, actually, I think we probably do want to give that away. Oh, we can't. No, we can. We can give it directly to a character. So, you can't just randomly give stuff. If it's got a... So if you've got a holy order in a place, you can't just give it out. You'll do. But you can give it out if you select it this way. And transfer him. Now that should mean we lose the Knights Templar, but it will flip back to giving us the Hospitallers. That's true, unless the Hospitallers are based out of Rome, in which case I don't care. But I don't think they are. I think they were based out of Ortebello. Ortebello. Right, what's left to give out? Because we've still got a lot of stuff hanging around. Right, that we're keeping because we want the things. We don't need that. Actually, isn't that their base? Where are they based out of? Isn't it Gumieres? How do you see where they're based out of? Really annoys me. Yeah, the problem is he's got a bunch of titles. It's the first one, isn't it? It's always the one that's listed first. So it's Barony of Gumieres. So we can give Coimbra out. But we will have to do it the same way. So we just find a random courtier. Who isn't in prison. Hey, Rodrigo! Quite useful. Actually, he'd be quite good to set up properly. Right, let's just give this to a rando. Hey, random Armenian... Armenian irritable druggie. Would you like... Oh no, you're the wrong faith. Let's not give you the Holy Order because you're the wrong faith. Let's find somebody who's of our faith. Hey, Dutch dude. Random, slightly pretty Dutch dude. Would you like to be in charge of Coimbra? Right, so this stuff we'll keep for now. Alarcos we don't need. That can go to a random local noble. That we're keeping for the Diplo range. Right, where's next? It's going to be random shit up here, isn't it? Here we go. Right, Burgau is part of the Duchy of Augsburg, so someone around here is getting the Duchy of Augsburg. Congrats by pure random fucking luck. You are getting the Duchy of Augsburg. There you go. Burgau goes to Rando, which means we then grant to her. So I'm never giving them all of the territory under this, because I want them to be strong enough to hold on to it, but not strong enough to be able to fuck around with it. Random slightly pretty Dutch dude is my favourite character. He'll do great things. We can pin him if you want. Let's pin him. Let's see what random pretty Dutch dude gets up to. Of House Bismarck. He's definitely going on to do great things. Let's unpin everyone else, because we've probably pinned them for reasons we don't care about anymore. We have a Bismarck. If there's a Bismarck dynasty in the game, we should absolutely try and form Germany as, form Prussia as Bismarck. I know we did a cheeky Hohenzollern-Star. Prussia as Bismarck would be amazing. He won't hate us soon. He hates us because we're well over our title limit. Once we get these titles gone, and we're well over our domain limit. Right, Berg is going to a random Galician, and you will get that one as well. Thing is, these are going to 67-year-old women, so that title's coming back to us at some point anyway. You get the Duchy of Berg. When we find it. If I filter that, that's probably easier. Let's not filter that. Sure, that was the Duchy of Berg, wasn't it? Was it the Duchy of Lower Lorraine? Duchy of Lower Lorraine. In fact, how would you feel about being... Because it's about time we sorted this out a bit down there. The Queen of Lotharingia. On the basis you can't have heirs, someone's probably going to try and overthrow you. Would you like to marry someone who's going to give me an alliance with you? Oh, I don't think I can. That's a shame. Will you grant the Duke's vassalage over all the counties in the duchy? No. So, I will grant them 2 of them, and I will always give the 3rd one away. Now, at the same time, they might then turn round and seize them. But, actually, can we negotiate an alliance with them? I don't think we can. I think we've used up all our alliances. But basically what I'm doing is, I want them strong enough to at least be able to have a chance of holding it, but not strong enough that they can rival me. Now, at the same time, they might conquer them over time. It happens. But it just slows them down in terms of doing things. Right, the Duchy of Algarve. Presumably someone down here needs the Duchy of Algarve. Is the Duchy of Algarve rightfully part of his kingdom? Yeah, it's part of the Kingdom of Badajoz. Right. Duchy of Algarve is yours. It's your fucking problem to deal with. Do what you want with it. Duchy of Careza is up here. Oh, interesting. So if you notice here, I'm going to give this to 2 separate people. And then Lispy Lady can have the Duchy of Careza. So as I say, if they fight it out between themselves, I'm not that fussed about it. But what it does mean is that is that a Prince Bishopric? Righto. How did she get that as well? Oh well, I'm not going to argue. No direct control just means they instantly get usurped, and I don't want them being usurped. So I want them kind of strong enough to be able to contest it. Because if nothing else, that means it delays the process of them. That's really nice. I kind of feel like we should give that to one of our relatives. Gutierrez Sancho, are you going to inherit anything? Yes. Mafalda is betrothed to the Duke of Toledo. Sanchez is quite nice. She deserves to get something. I would like you to marry. Oh no, actually, don't forget we got Rodriguez here, haven't we? Look, tell you what, kid. Go live your best fucking life. Go live your best life. Oh, the other thing to note is the order in which I'm doing this, because by giving him the title first, which is Cordoba. No, it's not. Is it Cordoba? No, this isn't Cordoba. What's this one? Calabria. Duchy of Calabria. So I'm going to give him the Duchy of Calabria. He's going to get 60 opinion boost of me. This is still his de jure territory, so I'm going to grant that to someone else. Now he's going to go, oh, I want them to be my vassal. And I go, okay, you can have them as your vassal. Which now gives me another opinion boost because I've given him his rightful stuff. You want to pin him? He does have excellent hair. Should we pin him just because he's growing up with excellent hair? We also have a hook, which means we can modify his contract, and we're going to force partition. Which I absolutely just forgot to do, and just got a 20 opinion boost for you, so there you go. Whoops. Yeah, that's new hair in the Spanish DLC. So that's mildly annoying. We just fucked up slightly there, but we don't fuck up a lot. And it just highlights it's easy to do. Right, so what else have we got left? So, Duchy of Coimbra is our last duchy that we're over the limit with. So, let's go to Coimbra. And... oh, we can make our random Dutch dude. Congrats, random Dutch dude. You are going up in the world. In which case, we will give him the county of Cordoba as well. No, we don't, because we want to keep... no, I'm not giving him... I'm giving him Coimbra. But we're keeping Porto. So enjoy yourself, but you're not getting Porto. Which drops us down to there. We've got one county too many, which I suspect is Malta. Malta can just go to someone. There we go. Drops us down to 13. Syracuse. What else are we holding on to that we don't want to hold on to? Tivoli we don't really need. Give that away. And I think that's brought us back to where we need to be. Really don't give a shit about who gets the Holy Roman Empire title, because it's not going to be me. Yeah. A reminder, by the way, I am at PDXCon this year. So if you are going to PDXCon, if you are in Stockholm, I'm flying out to Stockholm on Wednesday. I'll be back on the Wednesday after. So I am available for pints. You know, I've got to work it around other things. My cousin lives over there, so I'll be meeting my cousin. Obviously, I want to meet up with Tahares, because obviously Tahares is coming to PDXCon with me. Or we will both be at PDXCon. But also, I'm meeting up, I need to know when I'm meeting up with Mordred and Co. for streamer drinks and things. But, because I'm smuggling Lemsip over to him. Well, not smuggling, because it's illegal for me to take it. But because UK Lemsip is still technically stronger than Swedish Lemsip. So every time I go to Sweden, I seem to end up having to bring over medicine for Swedish people. Like I'm a pharmaceutical drug runner. Right. Titles have been redistributed. Now you'll notice now that people like us again because we're back down to only holding one too many things. We can negotiate alliances. Are any of them ones we want to negotiate? Not particularly. Yeah, if people have got recommendations for places to eat while I'm in Stockholm, because I'm not staying in my normal area of Stockholm, so do send me recommendations. Because obviously, especially as Stockholm, like London, is expensive, and given that I'm treating myself to a very expensive hotel, I don't really want to be spending a lot of money each night on food. I like going to a couple of different things, but you know, having a nice meal or two, but I don't want to spend like lots of money all the time. So if there are things you go, oh, actually, there's this local place that does relatively cheap food, then great. Oh, and recommendations for Berlin are always good as well, but just slightly less urgency to on recommendations for Berlin. Right, so we've got some plots going on here. Can't invite any more people in. They might work, they might not. We'll see. We'll let it slide this time, because that means we get a hook on Duchess Francesca, which means we can modify her contract. And we've... Oh, she's already got forced partition. That's fine then. In which case, we will use a hook to get her back up to normal levies. Should be fine. Yeah, Thadrin, just ping me. Yeah, Thursday is probably alright for me. I think PDXCon is Friday. It just be aware there might be some last minute rearrangements depending on what people want to do. Because I'm slightly at the discretion of other people's timing. Inspired person can be sponsored. She is considered a master. You should absolutely join my corps and we will sponsor you. My agents have prepared for weeks. The cook has been bribed to look the other way. The poison has been acquired and the duck was gifted to Corrado alone. It will be rubbed with the poison and the bed of herbs will mask the smell as it is served. The deadly bitterness will be the last thing my target ever tastes. Wave your murder duck emotes if you have them, chat. Wave your murder ducks. A bon appetit, Corrado. Corrado is no more. Oh dear, how sad. Why were we killing him? Is he Alan, one of Alan's mates? It's only stress level 2. Oh, you've made another friend. Oh, it's your wife. Oh dear, how sad. How sad. Estefania has many secrets. She is a non-believer. He's only at stress level 2, which is annoying. Can we see your murder count? She's murdered a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 people. Oh, it says 21 here. I could have just looked at the number in the bottom corner. I don't really care. But, whatever. I'd say that's slightly high for one of our rulers. Maybe not on this run, but generally speaking. What we should do is leave it to the expert, darling. Look if there's any buildings we want to build. Rome is maxed out. Palermo can go up. Syracuse we now control, so let's give that some more barracks. Because I wouldn't mind some more troops. This can all increase. We can go tax officers. Let's go tax officers. You get that. Burgos is our troop place, so give me more troops. Valladolid, we might get rid of at some point. Porto we can't because we'd lose the Holy Order, so we might as well just upgrade that. Cordoba will be our future capital, so push that up to 6. So we've got some upgrades going in on places, which is good. And the thing is, we don't actually need to hold on to this once we've gone. How old are we now? We're 71. Right, I mean, there's a 45% chance we pull this off. There's no point flipping our husband to it, so... Yeah, he survived. I think we'll end that scheme. Because we don't need him to die. He will die eventually of his own accord. It was just more a kind of opportunistic. Let's see if we can pull it off. Well, it wasn't really 95 because it was only a 45% chance. So when 45% chance one fails, I'm like, well, whatever. Fine. Oh, we can found a university. Let's found a university. Where can we found a university? All county capitals without a university gain a special building slot for university. Oh, it's because Napoli's hit the point. Lay the foundation. A new age of knowledge is upon us. I have met with a steady stream of builders and scholars, and the plans for the magnificent university are taking form. The building master informs me that the bricks for the university are ready to be laid, and all that remains is to be decided is a location and a name. Found the Holy Roman University of Naples. Why not? It means we might want to get hold of Naples at some point now. Because doesn't it give us some nice benefits? Is that a corner of the papacy? I think it is. Might be of a slightly higher quality. I mean, there's not really a lot of chances of that. No, it's just a bit of the Holy Roman Empire. That's what it is. King Chill died. No way. He was quite young. The new one still likes us, so. A regal... Oh, short range duration. Minus 24%. Damn. Chat, remind me that we've got that when we take over as our new ruler. Because that is sweet. That is really nice. Right, peasant rabble have disbanded. We do apparently have a whole bunch of artifacts that I assume we just took off of people. Ugh. I do wonder what they can do about this, because you do start getting a lot of artifact spawn. I wonder maybe if there should be... You should only have a limited number of repairs you can do on an artifact. That might do it. We can try and murder her in the woods. Oh, that's true. Our throne spot is empty, isn't it? So we could just equip it. There we go. Oh, it's a nice throne. Look at that. The Real Fidus and Boot Scootin' Baby. Excellent name. That's a proper Steps reference, that is. Steps' greatest hits is absolutely really fucking good. I hated them. Well, I didn't hate them, but I was turning my nose up at them when I was younger. But I have to say, the greatest hits album is brilliant. I know I can give them away, but it just becomes tedious, and you're just like, well, what would I do with it? Empress Ruxandra has left this world. Oh dear, how sad. Ooh, hang on. Oh, we got another boy we can murder. Or is that his original boy? No, it's Alan the Second, isn't it? Yeah. Came at the end of the campaign. Pretty big empire got it. Well, not at the end yet. I think we've got at least 2 generations to go to finish doing what we want to do. So we should be able to do it by endgame. So we've managed to get Hispania. This is all of our empire built without starting any wars. If we can marry into the Byzantines, which we're in the process of doing, because that's actually our son on the throne, we can get hold of the Byzantine Empire. I think we can get the Mongols as well. And once this joins our empire, which it should do when he dies, don't you fucking dare die. Don't you dare die. Because we've taken Rome off the Pope, I think once we get hold of the Byzantine Empire, we should have enough to form Rome. I think. We'll need Palestine, but that's fine. We can get Jerusalem. We can get Jerusalem now. We need to marry... I want him. We could try and... Yeah, we need Croatia. But we've got Croatia. We've got... Dude, put some fucking clothes on. Swear to God. We need him to like us more. We might need to get hold of that, but that's doable. That's doable. Your inbred son. I mean, a Banate is a duchy level title, so that's relatively easy for us to massage. Basically, there'll be some mopping up to do. Hey, I'll give you some money. It's fine. She's going to serve us. Fair enough. He has married a new wife. It's only at stress level 2. So I don't want to kill his son. It'd just be really nice if he died before us. I'm not worried about getting hold of that. The only one I'm slightly worried about is that, but I don't think that's too much of a problem either. Because we can do our standard kidnap and minus 15 on that. Have we got the... Problem is we can't switch, can we? It's annoying because if we could switch, we'd go for... which one is it? Is it... Oh, for vassalization. We'll get that with our heir. We'll be fine. Honestly, anything that isn't kingdom level titles we can deal with, because all we do is just kidnap children, marry them, kill people, get them into inherit. I'm honestly not fussed about that. It's getting that that's the key one. Life would be so much easier if Alan died. If Alan dies, we murder him, and we instantly, because she's already got good daughters. In fact, we're going to actually guardian her. Oh man, why do you hate me? Is it just because I happen to kill all of your family and mother? I've murdered family minus 80. I've only murdered a few of your relatives. I murdered that many of your relatives. Alan is indeed our not a lady heir, which is living slightly dangerously. But we do have a lady heir that we can bat as a backup. Just want Alan to die. There's just no way we can kill him. It's really annoying. He's just going to be fine forever. It would just speed everything up by a generation. If I die with a male heir, the run is over. Oh, I'm not... we have deliberately made him our heir because we're gambling that there is a small chance he'll die before we do. And if he dies before we do whilst he's our heir, then Maria becomes our heir. But if Maria doesn't die, it's fine, because we've got Infanta Aldara here, who is in our inheritance line, who also has Temujeni, who is Genghis Khan's great-granddaughter, who is also of our dynasty and is our backup heir. So yes, we need someone else to kill him, basically, and no one seems to want to kill him. Go away, you horrible little man. Let's fix some stuff with low durability. Nope, can't abduct. We can't plot against our own children to either abduct or murder. Can't do it. Not allowed. Game blocks it unless you're sadistic. Or unless you've got stuff that allows you to do it. And I think we looked to see if there was something in the dynasty stuff that we could build in that would do it, and there isn't. Like, as in, like, if there was a cultural thing you could unlock. Garthia, our grandson. Yeah, decent. Good for you. I'll go on a pilgrimage. Go to Jerusalem. Yeah, it's Alan fucked it all up because he inherited. We never intended for him to inherit the Byzantine Empire. Shit, that was probably not a good thing to do. Will happen, you lose the trait ill. Lost the trait ill, thank God for that. Probably should have thought of that, shouldn't I, before I started going on back to game. Yeah, we just want Alan to fucking die. He won't die just to spite us. I mean, this is the same Alan who dragged us into, what was it, 6 wars at once at one point. You like this game? This is a great game. See, I stream this game every Sunday. We'll be doing Stellaris tomorrow. No stuff next weekend because obviously it's PDXCon. Long term, I will be doing Victoria 3 as well as Crusader Kings. It should be fun. Tomorrow will be. I'm mildly tempted because tomorrow's a bank holiday in the UK, so I am slightly tempted to do a daytime stream, but it slightly depends on whether the wife fancies doing something. So we might just. I've still got to finish my Lego Graf Zeppelin, which would be fun. Crusade, do we give a shit? I mean, I think we just do that anyway. Because then we can always offer to join as well. You're going after the Mongol Empire. But you're only going after the Khanate of Zyetsu. I feel like we should divert you away from that, Mr. Pope. Oh, we'll get our excommunication lifted. It probably can, actually, can't we? It's a new Pope. Oh, it's a new Pope! Dude! New Pope, dude. Dude! Sexy young Pope. Aww. Aww. The food has been distributed, but I think Kitty is downstairs, so he will not have heard it. What do we do with this crusade? Is there any territory around here that we need to form Rome that we don't control already? Because I'd rather redirect it down here, if that's the case. I think Tunis is in our hands. Maybe it isn't. Does he hold the Tunis title? No, I think Tunis is fine. That's Tunis and we hold it. Or we will hold it. And I'm pretty certain the Byzantines hold Alexandria. Because isn't Alexandria the Duchy of Delta? Or is it Majid? It's kind of hard to tell. Is it Majid? Because if it's Majid, that's where this crusade's going. Oh! Oh! Right, if we need Majid, that's where we're diverting it to. The Majid Emirate. If you can afford it, it's worth doing what I just did, because essentially you get to double dip. So we just got a ton of piety, then we pledged and got another bit of piety. And our beneficiary I feel like we just have to for the sheer hell of it. I feel like we have to make our sister Nanilla. Oh, we can't because she's a nun. Hold up, can we make Nanilla's daughter? No, because she's already Queen Nanilla Nanillas. Let's give it to our other daughter. Why not? And I would like you to be going for so did we just push it for the whole of Egypt? Is that how it works? I can never remember whether we have to just push it for the whole of Egypt. I just want to redirect it for that, the Majid Emirate. Yeah, it's for a kingdom, isn't it? So we have to go for Egypt. Which is basically all of those bits. We need the Pope finishing unexcommunicating us. Kingdom of Egypt. I'd say we've got a good chance of winning that, as things stand. I reckon we can probably win that. Pope, money me. How close are we to actually being able to pull off? Not very, I don't think. If we wanted to get... What's the Roman religion called again? Hellenism. What? I'm gonna say we need to do our star tricks to get it down. It's too late. It's too late for us to do our tricks to get it down. We could totally do it in the long run. Totally doable. I think that's one that'd be a fun one to do where you start as the Byzantines. We'll go with the opinion gain, because generally speaking opinion gain is good. 74. Alan, die you little shit. How's our warding going? Because that's the other thing we got is... So she's 8. Jobbery! Welcome to the stream. If we can hang on until she's old enough to take over, I'll be absolutely fucking delighted. I think if she becomes old enough to take over, that might be the point where we just force it. Maybe. When's this launching? 5 months. 3 months we're raising in Sicily and just getting the hell over there ready. Right, 3 months. Can I instigate people to kill Alan? The only way we could do it is if we could get him excommunicated. The problem is, doing that also destabilizes his empire, and that means he's going to end up being called into battles against us. So we could get a hook on the Pope and get him excommunicated. Mostly we've just been killing everyone he loves. Oh hey, he loves our... Oh, we can't kill our other son, that's annoying. King Gagric's too far away for us to murder. Which is a shame. I'd still happily take Maria. She's sadistic, so we can just murder all our own children. We could very easily trim the line as required. Right, raise all here. This is going to be an absolute bitch for supply. Damn it, the Pope wouldn't give us more land. Let's carry on trying with that though. The time has finally come to bring St. George's holy wrath against the vile infidels of Egypt. Inflamed by righteous fury and unyielding resolve, the great army of crusaders assembled by Pope Alexander sets forth to deliver divine justice upon the wicked and earn their place in heaven. Deus Vult. Divert them to back them up. Feel free to join in, guys. Feel free to join in. That's got a 34-day siege on it. $17k troops they've got in total, so we do need to be a bit careful. Right, in which case, let's take half of you lot and get you round there to back those guys up. Which means you haven't got the siege train. Get on there. Get on Giza. Get on there. Get on there. Yeah, 50k death stack just landing on them. That's the thing, is if you can time it right, you can really do some damage. We're in command somewhere and we really shouldn't be. That siege is almost done. That siege is done. Go kill them. I think we're going to win this. Oh no! Count Archibald escaped, one of our Mongol heirs. Alan will not fight, because Alan the little fucker has probably gone Orthodox. No, he's still technically Catholic. Alan did not join the crusade. Damn you, Alan. Popping out the sprogs is our daughter. St. George has granted Queen Alania victory in the crusade for Egypt. After defeating Adhid and his heathen warriors on several occasions, our warriors forced the enemies of the faith to admit their ignominious defeat. With the occupied lands firmly under the leadership of a pious Catholic ruler, we can rest assured that the divine will of St. George has been enacted. This is a glorious day for all true followers of the faith. Welcome Egypt to the map. Ruled by Queen Alania, our daughter. Oh shit, you know what we should have done? God, we're idiots. We should have just given it to the other daughter. Then we'd have just inherited it. Oh well. Yeah, we should get it anyway, because basically her kid we'd already turned into the Duke. Oh no, it's a high level title. She's still young enough to have a kid. He kinda needs to be given a kingdom. We can't because King Philippe, who's Nun Zilla's daughter, he's his vassal. That is inconvenient. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. Well, crusades are easy. Who says crusades are hard? To be fair, we should actually ally her. We could... I think what else we could do. I don't think there is anything we could do about it for now. I think Temujeni is going to be callous. Yeah, I mean, we could do that. We could disinherit the older son. That means that we go to Masab here, but who's not of our dynasty. Mind you, he's not of our dynasty either. Can you marry him? Because he's likely to give you a kid. We can scheme against her kids. Oh, hang on. That would fix things. Because he hasn't got any kids. That works out for us. That would work out for us. Who are you? No. Why? We just have to murder everyone she's ever loved. Yeah, I'm just chainsawing my way through the family tree. Intimate relations with Duke Lorenzo. How very dare. Die, Alan. Oh, he's going to have another kid. Well, it's another baby for me to kill. Are you in love with her? Sponsored, any good? You are considered a master. Join my court, you're sponsored, congrats. Oh, I just cancelled one of our murder plots. That's annoying. That's annoying, I just did it instinctively. Shouldn't be a problem, she's still quite young. I will attend, because I do have a tiny bit of stress. I think it's still technically important to try and stress Alan out, but he's still got down on his stress tiers again. What's annoying is he's at no point has he picked up any fucking decent murderous traits. It's very annoying. Like, is it too much to ask that he'd become like a flagellant or something? I can get a lover. My nephew would become my lover. Let's just get a friend. How do I deal with factions? I murder them. Key thing to remember with factions, and I've got a video for this up on my YouTube channel, is factions tend to be a problem because of your troop levels. And the key thing to maintaining good troop levels is to make sure that you always control at least 2 duchies, and ideally 3. And when you control your duchies, focus your duchies on different things. So it can be some people, when they're managing their duchies, will be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to have like, I'll build some farms, I'll then build some men-at-arms, and I'll do everything else. So they'll mix and match. You don't want to mix and match, because what you want to do is specialize your duchies. So have one duchy that's specialized for money, and have one duchy that's specialized for troops. And make sure the one that's specialized for your troops is your primary duchy, so the one that your heir will always inherit. And the reason you do that is it means that you've always got a reasonable number of troops that you can rely on, which means when you can rely on those troops, you know that that's going to keep your chances of getting factions lower. The other thing that would benefit of having a duchy that's focused on money, and if you're playing in Spain, this is a fantastic duchy to do if you're playing Catholic, because you've got the Cathedral of Santiago, which gives you a massive boost, and there's a bunch of other buildings around here that are really useful. But of course, the moment you're generating good money, what that also means you can do is you can turn around and build up your men-at-arms to their maximum levels. So suddenly, if you look at what I'm running around with of troops based off of what I've got here, you can see that just off of my troops alone, 9k of my troops are all ones that are just coming from men-at-arms. And then beyond that, I'm getting the vassal contingents from my primary duchies, which is quite high. So what you're doing then is you're just making sure that you're maximizing how many troops you have available, which then minimizes the issues we'll have with factions. The other bit of advice I'd give you on dealing with factions is wherever possible, make sure your vassals, you give them contracts that tell them to force partition. So what that means is if he dies, these titles are going to be split up. It forces more of a split up on his titles, which stops any one of your vassals from becoming too powerful over time. So whenever you defeat a faction and you get a title back, don't just think about giving it out. Think about using it as an opportunity to modify a contract. Because if you can modify a contract and force partition, that's actually sometimes more valuable to you than just getting the title back off of someone and giving it out again. Because what you're really just trying to do is you're trying to make sure that there's a lot of divide and conquer going on in your kingdom, but that no one can ever over time gift to their children a really strong kingdom that can oppose you. And finally, if you're playing at empire level, do focus, as we've been doing here, on making sure that what you're actually doing at that point is you're giving out kingdoms. Because it's far easier to turn around and go, right, well, this kingdom is going to be a problem. And you go, right, well, okay, fine, I'll arrange a marriage for him that's going to make him an ally of me or whatever else. It's far easier to do that and deal with lots and lots of tiny dukes trying to rebel against you. So over time, as you grow, try and make sure that you're building up. You want your vassals, once you hit empire level, to all be kings, apart from the titles that you're controlling directly. And when you're a king, it is in your benefit to have lots of dukes rather than lots of individual counts, because lots of individual counts will add up over time their troops to come and get you. So it just makes it more manageable. So that's my kind of advice on managing factions. Hopefully that's helpful. Now we don't really need any boosts from that, so we're just going to say it's too risky. Also, do think about which kingdoms you want to put out and which ones you don't want to give out. So, for example, I'm never going to give out Italy here because it's a very big kingdom. Whereas Aquitaine, I was actually kind of like, well, I'll give that out. Oh, we're just giving random people lovers pots again. Yes, absolutely, we will help with that. Because that is our potential heir when Alan dies. If Alan dies. Who are we at war with? She's got 9k troops. So we will need to go and help her out. Where is he? Over there. What we'll do with that is we'll just take the men-at-arms. Our men-at-arms will be more than enough to build it. I play as the Abbasid Empire, so if I give kingdoms to my vassals, it's going to be better for me. Potentially, yes. You always obviously want to keep some kingdoms for yourself. What you don't want to do is give them really, really big kingdoms. Like, some kingdoms are nice, so like for over here, for example, Navarre is a good one to give out. It's a tiny little kingdom, but it just means you're then not individually managing vassals. What you kind of want to do is get relatives onto thrones. It just works better. But it also does mean you have the emergency option as an emperor, which is if one kingdom does just generally become too powerful and you're like, this is going to cause me a real faction problem, just grant them independence. Just for a generation, just let them be independent. And then just screw with them, intrigue them, do whatever else. Kill them so that their kid takes over and only has like 1,000 troops, and then just take the title back. But what you're reducing is you're reducing the number of individual people who can have issues with you. Now obviously that's not going to help you if your character's terrible and unlikable, but what you're doing is minimizing risk. And so much of big empire management, both in this game and in real life, in real history life, was about minimizing risk. And obviously what you can do with it, if you've just got a few kingdoms, is you can focus on befriending people or seducing them, or marrying just a few key marriages to keep control. But yeah, wherever possible, get stuff onto partition methods as well if it's feudal. It just makes such a difference. It just stops people becoming too powerful over time. She doesn't really need our help in this. She's going to win this. But we'll go help anyway. Because we can. And we're nice. Where are they off to? Going to there? Okay, we'll come join you in Tobruk. Duke John is preparing a special trip for young Musab. The child trusts he will be brought on an enjoyable day in the forest. Musab will unfortunately get lost and be impossible to find before nightfall. Oh, he was so young too. Musab is dead. The search went long into the night before it was called off and reconvened at dawn. It was only then that the body was found, bloodied, mangled and torn after an attack by some vicious, hungry beast. And they say children are the future. There we go, we've just won our civil war for her. That does mean we can murder another one of her children. See, this is the annoying thing, because I cancelled that one and I really screwed up slightly by doing that, because we're now not going to be able to murder him for until then. Although we could abduct him and stick him in the dungeon. Let's see if we can get God to kill him for us. Damn, son, you really want to murder him. Or abduct him, rather. In fact, actually having him in prison is just as good, because then he can't have kids. That's all we really care about, is him not having kids. Problem with Dread is kind of the same as the problem with Vassal Opinion. It causes a huge immediate crisis on succession. Yes. Dread is really, really useful in if you are about to have faction issues and you need to manage them in a very instant way. If you've got ways of creating Dread, it's incredibly useful. But the problem with Dread is tied to an individual ruler. So the moment you die, and this is particularly problematic if you die slightly early and a kid inherits, they don't have any of that natural Dread. So what you then on succession have is an instant problem of all of these rebellions and everything else. It is time one of little Arius's wet nurses is willing to do what needs to be done, or we're going with the needle in the ear. See it done, whatever the price. The deed is done. Arius will never grow up or understand the world around him. Oh dear chat, how sad. Another one of Alan's children is dead. Rip Alan's children. Let's go on a hunt. How sad, chat. How sad. I'm not going to risk dying. Oh, our random Dutch dude can do something about it. Random Dutch dude, help us! He also gained a favour hook. Have we already modified his contract? We have not. So, the reason we are currently modifying Duke Reinald's contract is because he just got a hook on us. And if he uses that hook, he could, for example, turn around and give us... He could request guaranteed council rights, which would really fucking annoy me, and then we'd have to kill him. So what we're doing proactively is we're going to give him less feudal taxes, and in return we're going to offer him forced partition, because we want to do that anyway, eventually. But what that also means we can now do is, by doing that, it means his contract has already been modified. So he might use his hook to try and force himself on our council. He might use his hook to get money off of us or something else. But what he can't use his hook for now is to change his contract, because you can only change your contract once during your lifetime. And obviously his hook will expire with his son. Don't really need to be romanced at 77 years old. Oh, we could give him crit stress. There's a 30% chance of schemes exposure. I'm just going to go with the thing. I'm not that fast. Yeah, rightful liege penalty is really one to be aware of. It's a thing that can really create a lot of issues if you're not careful. It's why sometimes it's useful to keep hold of kingdom titles, because then you are the rightful liege. And similarly, like this Empire of Hispania, it's why we did create the Empire of Francia as well. It's just because at least that made sure we were the rightful liege of the people in this area. Right. So your heirs... Okay, so... Atika needs to die. Is that fraction de jure England yet? Probably by this point, I'd have thought. Assuming they've been working on it. No, it's still technically part of Duchy of Normandy, which is part of the Kingdom of Fralon. Yeah, Alan is annoyingly healthy. He is stress level 2 and a beast, though. Eden Beast! Thank you very much for the follow. He is annoyingly healthy. I can't murder his friend because his friend's too far away. Does he love his wife? Can we tell if he loves his wife? Because if so, we'll just murder her. There's no point murdering her if he doesn't love her, though. We can't seduce Alan. We did try. Oddly enough, he does not want to have sex with his 80-year-old mother. I don't think murdering his wards would give him stress. He is in a war. Can you get yourself killed in a war, please, Alan? Yeah, affairs. Oh no. Who got overthrown? Oh, King Andre Nonetheless has taken control over in Badajoz. You go, boy. Yes, we got him. Duke Shazara is safely in our hands. Duke Shazara. Dungeons. How do you feel about them? Yeah, we'll contract some holy orders. Yeah, why not? I mean, ironically, I think we've just made him more secure on his throne, because we've just imprisoned his most powerful duke. How old are we now? 78. 11. I think we're going to make it, you know, with Temujeni. Like, if she died now, we'd be alright. I'm not actually going to take that dynasty legacy, because I don't want to burn the renown. We might need it. Sod's law is I take that legacy. Slaughter at Tobruk. Oh, that was our battle from earlier. It was indeed a slaughter. Temujeni... I think we do kind of want her to be content. Or do we want her to be fickle? No, because of the stewardship, so she has to be content. Oh, hey, you've got another kid we can murder. Good work, Alan. Popping out those sprogs. Is there a planned end time for stream today? What is the time now? 10 past 1 today, so we'll aim for a 2:30 finish. Or 2 o'clock to 2:30, basically. As usual. Unless, in some way, we get raided or something like that, then I'll keep it going for a bit longer. Anything interesting we can build? Oh, can't we build duchy buildings in... Atika's time has come. All things fall eventually. Kingdoms, ladies, children pushed from high places. My agent will leave a trail of sweets leading up, 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 high enough to set little Atika's stomach tingling. Once at the top, she will find a basket full of treats hanging over the wall, and as she reaches down to untie the rope, it would be so easy for her to slip. A tragedy, truly. Atika is dead. They found her mangled corpse on the ground. Candies scattered around her. So killing your kids is a no-no, but watching your grandkids as they're born is fair play. Absolutely. Absolutely. He needs to die. Because King Spara will inherit. We need to kill another child. Anyone want to help me kill this kid? Yeah, that's true actually. We didn't kill him. We didn't kill that kid anyway. Gravity did. Pretty much unlocking stuff at random at this point. It doesn't really matter. Shit! Right. Well, that essentially decides our succession for us. I mean, decent innings. We made it to 79, which, given that we've been running around with fucking lover's pox for however long, is not a... Given that we're maimed, like, we literally have no leg. And we haven't had a leg for the last 25 years. We should pull off our last 2 murders, I think. Yeah, 7 and 4 months, so we should be able to pull them off. Guys in the dungeon, so that's fine. Right, so that pretty much means that we're on Gen 2 for getting hold of that. So it will be married. Oh, hang on. Why have we been... Oh, you know what we've been doing wrong here? No, because we're running on a clock now, aren't we? We're running on a time limit. Just wondering if her kids are better. Her kids are better. We may break that betrothal. Right. Yeah, at least we get the pleasure of disinheriting Alan for a second time. Alan. You useless fucking waste of space. Disinherited. Now watch him die like tomorrow. Alan is like, you gave us a leg up. And we're like, Alan, you make that joke every time you see, every time. Yep. Only capitalise the names of people we respect. Because like, if I could inherit, if I could make her my heir, I would. What? Oh no, can't. She's lost all her daughters. Oh no, we can make her our heir. We can't make his... I'm getting confused because they look the same. Like, we can't make Maria our heir. Which would have been the ideal, is we make her our heir. Which is really annoying. Like, if we could have had her take over, that would have been our ideal. But c'est la vie. Right. So that means Aldara is our current heir. I think we want to skip Aldara. And I think we want to go straight to Temujeni. Let me know what you think on that one, chat. But I think we actually want to knock off Aldara. Because Temujeni is 12. We've got a very big treasury. It's a risk. We're going to have to fight a bunch of rebellions anyway when we take over. And it means that we go straight in hammer and tongs, given that we're running on a clock now, with Temujeni as a 16-year-old hardcore ruler. She's already a 5, 12, 13, 13, 12. We can't kill her though. We can. Because she is not landed and she is at our court. Which means... Oh, we can't imprison her, can we? How's she allied to us? How are you allied to us? Why is she allied to us? Doesn't make sense. Welcome to the stream, Viking Gazuro. Yeah, we're Hispania. Because if she takes vows, that's going to push her entire line out of our inheritance, isn't it? Even if she'd accepted, which she won't. I don't get why we've got an alliance with her. Because she's unlanded. I'm legit confused by that. Okay, we're back. Oh, is it the spouse? No, because he's unlanded. Oh, but he's our grandson. That's why. It's because we set Duke Non-Allen up as the Duke of Majorca. That's why. I think it's because we're allied to Majorca. That's annoying. Yeah, look, through the marriage between Infanta Alvarez Violetas of Hispania and Casio Temu Genez Jamina. It's because of that. Oh, if we'd thought about that, we could have dealt with that. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's just not ideal. The issue with taking vows is I'm not sure if it knocks her kids out of the inheritance. I mean, there's an interesting experiment to be had in seeing if asking... Well, she won't take vows anyway because she's our designated... She's our heir. Although, actually, if we made Alan our heir again, she might take vows. If Alan was our heir again... I mean, there's an interesting experiment to be done here. What I'll do is I'll take a backup save because I think it's useful for us to just know this for future runs. Is what happens if you... Can you remove an individual from the inheritance and then re-inherit their children? I don't think you can, but I think this is a good one to test. So I'm just going to take a backup save in the background here and we'll give it a go. We might not be able to get her to take vows anyway, but... Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's always fun to disinherit Alan. So let's put Alan back into the inheritance again. What's interesting is we can designate Alan as our heir without restoring his inheritance. So actually we don't need to do this. We don't need to spend renown on it because we could just designate her as our heir. No, you have to restore inheritance. So why can we designate him as our heir? Very odd. Let's restore Alan's inheritance. Alan, you're back in the line. Congrats. Which then means... she will take holy orders. Can I designate Alan's daughter? No, because that would be the real nice one, is if I could designate down a generation, but you can't. Like, that would be the really good one. Be if I could just do that, but I can't. So if we now disinherit Alan again... So Alan was briefly happy for like 5 minutes. He was back in the inheritance. Our player heir is now non-Alan. Not Temu Jenny. Who I can't re-inherit. But allegedly I can designate her my heir. Which doesn't work because she can't inherit. So actually you shouldn't be able to do that. That's a bit of a game bug. That's interesting. That's a bit of a game bug. Oh, hang on, yeah, that might work actually. If I disinherit, it has skipped a generation. So if we disinherit... I think this might work. Disinherit. It's basically going massively down the male line. Temu Jenny. Damn, that's complex. I mean, it works. So things we learnt from that. So what's interesting is she doesn't show up as having these things that she's going to inherit. But she is going to inherit, according to this. She is heir to the Empire of Hispania, Empire of Francia, Kingdom of Castile, and 47 more titles. Still shows up as no titles. And the thing is, I've taken a backup save, so if this bugs out, we're fine. Game says it's giving it to her. Disinheritance does not cause stress. Oh, give over. Anyone else want us to help us kill this kid? So it's our final farewell to murder. I've got some years on of those. No, if disinheriting caused stress, we'd have been laughing, because we'd have just repeatedly disinherited Alan until he died. Nuno is dead. Rip Nuno. Which was Alan's kid, wasn't it? Yep. She is the only person in my line of succession. If we get killed as her when we take over, we're fucked. Run over. I mean, ultimately we're into the stretch goal territory anyway. But high risk, high reward. Yeah, this is all Alan's dad's fault. If Alan's dad hadn't died too early, we wouldn't be having this problem. No, the artifact is mine. Let's repair these just so they're not screwing with us. We've got a nice big treasury. What we're going to need to do is get the short range artifacts straight onto the... Does have an antiquarian make artifacts degrade slower? Yes, it does. It's very handy. If there is one thing King Damiano in particular cannot resist, it's his favourite treat. His favourite treat, you say? I'm quite happily sat here munching on my own. There you go. Some nice sherbet UFOs. A bon appetit. Fingers crossed. 63% chance. King Damiano is dead. He swallowed the bait, pudding and all. In no time at all, he was clutching at his throat, wheezing for air before collapsing into a small heap on the ground, never to get up again. All bakers in the area were questioned, but no trace of foul play could be found. I had to do this. I had to do this. Right. And there we go. Hispania, baby. So, for those who aren't sure how that happened, his heir, or the King of Navarra, here, his brother was his heir. His brother is already king in our empire. Because the title he was going to inherit is equal to a title that he already held, that meant he didn't leave the kingdom, that title joined our kingdom instead. Which means we now control Tunis, and which is really useful. How many people have we killed? Let's actually have a look, because that was probably our last murder, wasn't it? 27 people we killed in our lifetime. 27 people. Which isn't bad, is it? A lot of them were Alan's children. A lot of them were Alan's children. Oh, Andalusian has diverged again. We just inherited a duchy. Eesh, do we want to give that out now? Or do we hold off? Problem is it'll be giving us a massive opinion hit. I think we do need to just give that out now. I don't like doing it, but I think we need to give it a go. is it? I think the opinion hit we will be getting from being over our limit is going to be more than we'll get from just getting rid of that negative modifier, because the cost is cubing. So I think the problem would be the past land stuff. What about those realm will lose mess time? I'm not worried about them. If you look at what we're losing, it's Alpsea, whatever, and that is allegedly inheriting out of our kingdom. I mean, can it? Goes to him. I don't quite see how that counts as inheriting out of our kingdom. Oh, the Duke in our dungeon inherits Egypt, yeah. Yeah, and I'm thinking about it the wrong way around. Which is why he's in our dungeon. I mean, we may... Yeah, because then it's going to go to Temujeni. So we will inherit at the moment. Essentially, once he dies, and he is in the dungeon, that will get us. Interesting challenge. It has been an interesting challenge. So obviously we can fight defensive wars, but we can't start wars. And we're well on the way to our extended goal of forming Rome, which I think we will pull off before the game ends. No, we don't want to risk the tyranny here. Oh, we can give a Gregarious. Or do we want to give a Lustful? We want to give a Lustful, don't we? Don't you need Byzantium to form Rome? Yes, I do. I do indeed. Which is why we have been happily murdering our sons. Our son is the Emperor of Byzantium. RIP! Chat, can we get some Fs, please? Empress Violetta of Hispania has finally found peace at 80 years of age. She died from her internal injuries. A zealous woman, she fought for the glory of God against the heathens in one of the greatest holy wars of recent history. Empress Temujeni ascends to the throne, possessing a mighty physique and an exceptionally astute mind. Her rule is sure to spawn both song and tale. So, that is an absolutely well-earned F, because she ended the struggle as well. So, tyranny is not inherited, but there is always a ruler penalty. So, opinion of previous ruler counts when you inherit. So, if we'd taken a bunch of tyranny, that would have dipped our vassals' opinions of us, which would have meant that Temujeni, who is already going to have a bit of a struggle to hold on to this throne, would have got a big ton of issues, because she'd have been sitting here going, shit, I've got... the vassals would have gone, we didn't like your mother. So I was trying to minimise the hit on opinions to our mother. And as to the question, who was it? Was I asking? Miss Fashion. Temujeni is matrilineally betrothed to her cousin, who is Alan's son, who is set to inherit the Byzantine Empire. So, if all goes to plan, our own heir will be the heir to the Byzantine Empire. which will give us the Byzantine Empire. And we're good. Worth remembering for those who don't know, let's dig back through Temujini's dynasty, because there is something interesting in Temujini's dynasty. If we have a look, there is Empress Temujini. She is the daughter of Aldara Jamina, which means she's the daughter of Empress Violetta. But she is essentially, if you go back far enough, so I'm going to show it nicely on here. Short version, she is the great-great-granddaughter of Genghis Khan. That's why she's called Temujini. Yep. Unless they have a child in the purple. There is that. Alan is not long for this world. In 2 years' time, we will be plotting to murder Alan. And his wife's 43, so we're riding the odds. That said, Alan has absolutely screwed with us at every single stage, so, you know, I fully anticipate it going wrong. Right. First things first. We are going to need to give away some titles, even if it's just temporarily. But, more importantly, we would like to be Basque again. Unless we go Andalusia Baranis, but I don't think we do. I think we go back to being Basque. Which means we need to flip our primary title back to the Kingdom of Castile. Someone remind me how we do that. We might need some prestige to do this. What does in the purple actually mean? Theoretically it means the child was born by as the child of the Byzantine Empire and his wife while they were married and while he was on the throne. In game, I've noticed it doesn't always fire, particularly if someone has fornicator. So I'm not 100% sure how the game decides it versus reality. Right. Good news is we only have 4 powerful vassals. And this is what I was saying about at this level, getting vassals down to stuff. Oh, give over. Have we had that massive fucking hit again on... Oh, they've got to fix that bug. They've got to fix that. That's so annoying. Need to work out why it does this. So, Miss Fashion, the issue is that because some kind of title was created when she inherited, which we didn't spot, we must have had a kingdom title that we didn't know about that has now been created. I'm honestly half tempted to revert to the save for that. Because it created a kingdom title, what it's done is it's reset the... It didn't preserve our court grandeur from being the empress. It's given us the default kingdom grandeur for that newly created title. Which then means that our grandeur for our court, which was sat quite happily at level 10, has now dropped right down to level 3, just below level 4. Which means it's going to take us 26 years, give or take, probably about half that with events, to creep all the way back up, Which the problem is, that means you can see that basically our opinion there is essentially our vassal opinion has just absolutely tanked. So when you look at like our vassals here, you'll see that he hates us 100. And one of the reasons he hates us 100 is because our court grandeur is below expected level. So he's now got a permanent minus 60 freaking penalty against us, which is going to take years to get rid of, just because the game bugged out and screwed our vassal stuff. Was this a 1066 start? Yes, it was. It was. We started as Jimena, who rules, I think, two provinces over here. I think I'm going to bird that, chat. We do need to see what title it created, though. Now, because we think we trace this back to it creating a title. So what kingdom title did we not have? Oh, didn't we work out it's just if it creates any titles? Was that what it was? Is if it creates any titles? It resets it. So I think we have to create those titles and give them out, just to get over the game bug. So yeah, I think it was the duchies it created. Right. Chat, look in the other direction. Look over there, a bird. I think we need to pin down what does this. Because I can't believe it's a game feature. It just can't be. Truk, thanks for the follow. Oh no, I'm out of sherbet sauces. Did you previously destroy the Empire of Falania? No, we've got the Empire. Let's see what titles we don't have. What titles is it saying we would create? They're all duchies. Ah, it's the Empire of Italia. That's what did it this time. Right, here you go. So watch this. I'll probably pull this out and send this to Paradox as a bug report video to show them what it does. So what it is because there was an equivalent level empire title that gets created when we die, it defaults to giving us the base level prestige from the new title, not from the existing titles. So we will now create the Empire of Italia. We will now die. We should do anyway. You are merely decent. No, go away. Because we must be still near death because we haven't got the stuff selected. And we were giving her Lustful. Rome is an interesting one. I'll talk you through Rome in a second, but let's just look at this. Come on. There you go. Now, if I'm right, we shouldn't have had our massive drop. There you go. See what I mean? We still have grandeur at 10. So we got a slight drop, which is understandable because you should get a slight drop when you take over. But we didn't drop all... I'm pointing at the screen and you guys can't see it. We didn't drop all the way down to tier 3. So that's definitely a game bug. So the game bug is if the game creates a title at equivalent tier to your highest title, you default to getting the court grandeur of the new title, not to the existing titles of the same rank. There you go. So that's how it does it. So now, you know, we've still got a challenge to hold on to this, and that's fine. But what it does mean is we're not going to sit there with frickin' King Adorno here, getting minus frickin' 60 for the next 20 years on us, just because of stuff. Right. To answer your Rome question before we do it, how did you avoid it? Did you create the empire yourself? Yes. So because we were able to jump back to the previous save, we jumped back to that, and then we created the empire title before we died. So if you're playing this and if you notice this bug, the thing you need to do, and just be aware with your character in the short term, is that always check your created titles to see if you've got a lurking title that is of equivalent rank, because if so, it will reset to that, and that will probably screw with you. Mr. Jazz7, thanks for the follow. So, Ms. Fashion, you were asking about Rome. The answer to that is we already have Rome. Ta-da! How do we get Rome? If you need to get Rome for something, such as creating an empire or whatever else, and you want to get it without having to fight the Pope in a war, you just have to understand how inheritance and de jure territory works. Because Rome is part of the Duchy of Latium, and it is always part of the Duchy of Latium. The Pope has a kingdom level title. He is independent and he has a kingdom level title, the papacy. But that title does not have any de jure territory in itself. He just happens to hold Rome, which is another bit of de jure territory. So what this means is that actually you just need to know what you need to hold Latium, or the title above Latium. So in our instance, we started with the Kingdom of Romana. So the Kingdom of Romana, Rome is a de jure part of the Kingdom of Romana, which means that if you go onto your council, one of your steward's actions, and let's just quickly hire a steward here, because we know we're going to give it to him anyway. One of the steward's actions is convince de jure territory to join you. So all you need to do is repeatedly keep trying to get the Rome as a convinced de jure territory to join, and they will eventually join you. So it takes a while. It can take a while. You know, it's going to take 5 years each time, but you can speed that up by having a very good steward and making sure they're your friend. But that's how you deal with that problem. You basically just go for the de jure title above it, and you can do it that way. So Romana is the one you want, and then you can go and just ask the Pope to eventually give you that territory. Why did the title auto-create? It's still on Confederate partition. Yeah, because we didn't have as much control of our inheritance as we liked, because we had to flip to Galician temporarily in order to end the struggle within the time limit. Now, we can now make Castile, if I can remember how, our primary title again. Which would mean we could move... Oh, do we have to move the realm capital first? I think we have to move the realm capital first, and then we can make it our primary title. And that's Basque, and we want to be Basque, so we're moving back to there. So Burgos is our capital again. Which I think means we can make Castile our primary title. Just have to remember how to do it. Because now we're back in Basque territory. We should, when we need to, be able to convert to local culture. Once we're an adult, we can do that. Right. We need some councillors, and we need to not get murdered by our vassals. We could really do with King Chile liking us. Because I'd really like to make him our Now, actually, I think we did create a bunch of duchies. So let's get rid of these duchies. To be honest, we don't really need Galicia anymore. The main reason we're keeping it is for the Holy Order. And I mean, do we really need the Holy Order's patronage anymore? I don't think we really do. We're only using them when we're in Crusades. We'll just pay to faith. Yeah, I think moving it might have just declared it again as our primary title. I think we just give Galicia out. Because it's going to knock 3 bits of territory off as well, which is going to drop us down to our limit. Yeah, if we'd gone Roman, then we would disable the cathedral. I don't see an issue with giving that out. For now. So I think we're going to do that. Now remember, kids, you can't just give out. So what we actually want to do is find someone in our courtiers and we could give it to our dad, because then we're probably going to get it back. So if we give him County of Porto, County of Braganza, it's actually, is Galicia the problem for us? It isn't, is it? Yeah, because it's the Duchy. Oh, it's the Duchy of... Yeah. Oh no, it's Galicia, which we want to keep. Oh, it's finally gone back to showing us which ones we actually fucking hold. I mean, we don't really need Latium to exist, because we control Rome. And Rome's special building, I don't think, is limited to controlling the duchy. I mean, it's the Aurelian walls, and it's like, do we really need them? I think we're making her the Duchess of Córdoba because it's actually beneficial to us. Like, giving her the title, even though we keep hold of Córdoba itself, is beneficial to us overall. So that should bring us back to... Let's just double check that we're now only holding 2 duchies. Or 3 duchies, rather. So we've got Latium, Castile and Galicia. So that's right. So King Chill's at -60. He's going to get -40 will disappear off of that if we give him a seat on the council. So that'll push him down to -20. Don't think... So we get -8 in short reign, but we can reduce that quicker. He's only going to gain 18 if we give him some money. What if we give him an artifact? If we gave you this French chest, how much is that going to make you like me? I think we might consider temporarily dropping Crown Authority as well. But we'll see. Right, Chancellor. I think we are going to make Duke Hernando Chancellor, Marshal. One of our powerful vassals is not getting a position. King Ordino can have that. I mean, the other alternative is we marry him, sort out a marriage with him. Our education is stewardship, which is fine because we've got intrigue 15. We do need to give away a couple of titles. I think we maybe do give Porto and Brigantha temporarily away to our dad, because we will get them back. Essentially they sit in a holding pattern for us. That also means our dad really likes us. Oh, we should have kept him around because then he could have guardianed us. Might have been a bit of a mistake. Problem is, until that expires, until I unpause, we can't set a new guardian. With key islands across the Mediterranean secured and acting as watchtowers of the sea, it's time for us to claim ownership over the waves. House Jimena gains master of the Mediterranean for 100 years. Unlocks the Mediterranean conquest casus belli, allowing you to conquer any of the countries along the shore of the Mediterranean for the duration of the house modifier while you control the kingdom of Ballio-Terrena. Ballio-Terrena becomes a de jure liege of Majorca, Sardinia, Corsica, the kingdom of de jure liege of Duchy of Sicily. Why didn't that trigger before? Or was it just that we just decided we weren't going to do it? Because it doesn't actually add any value to us. That's right, we decided we weren't going to do it, didn't we? That's right. Right. So the only one we haven't appointed is a spy master. Yeah, we said we were going to save it for another run because it'd be more interesting. Matt can't play! Thank you very much for the follow. I'm sure you can play. Right, I think we want to run to the month tick. And then let's see what the damage is. We do want to just make sure we've got our short range right. Yeah, so that's minus 12. And then we've got the throne, which is fine. We could do with some regalia as well. Ideally something that gives us... I suspect we just go with the famed regalia for now. Elevate the Kingdom of Man run. Yeah, you could combine that with the Kingdom of the Mediterranean one. So the good news is we're still allied to the Byzantines as well, because obviously we're marrying his son. So it's worth remembering we do have another 50k troops to call on when we inevitably get attacked. We've got 10k in the bank as well though, so... Now what we probably should do is... Do we have any prisoners we can just kill? Yeah, we get the content stuff, which is a problem. I was just looking to see if we can get some cheap dread, but I don't think we can. Right, let's run to the end of the month. Right. End of the month. Priest likes us. This is good. King Chill is only at minus 22. So, King Chill likes us. Should be reasonably unlikely to plot against us. Factions-wise, we've got a Liberty faction, but it's a relatively small one. So this is again what I was saying about if you can keep your kingdoms sorted, it minimises the people who can plot against you. So as things stand, we're not looking too bad as a transition. I think what we do want in the short term is we want him on disrupt schemes. King Bart just generally doesn't like me. Yeah, he really didn't like my mum. So he got a minus 35 on that. So he will drift back over time. Like if I sent him a gift, he's going to gain 23. King Ordono, I can gain 18 on him. Didn't like my mum. So cultural hostility penalty kicks in, which he shouldn't get because he's Basque. Well, he won't when I switch to being Basque, so. Yes, underage vassals can't rebel, which is very handy. Right. We need... He is a genius. Not quite sure why it's not showing there. Because it should do. I mean, there's even a chance we'll get ambitious off of that. Seems that the efforts of my steward in the county of Viterbo have finally paid off. The local people have been persuaded. We've got more land off the Pope. Give me Foggia. And we will give Viterbo out to... Anyone Basque floating around on this list? Yo, Basque people, where you at? Basque! There you go. Congrats. Jockmill, thank you to follow. You need Capur. I need the title above it. Duchy. Don't think it was giving me an option to get that yet. Like, do you see what I mean? It won't let me switch to that. Which I'm not sure why. Right, Court Granger's back up. Dangerous faction, Liberty faction, who's in it? King Chill! No, buddy, no. Oh, I don't want King Chill to rebel against me. Problem is we haven't... If we get all them over to court, we can marry them off. There we go. Can marry him to Infanta Agnes Chiles. I'd quite like to keep hold of King Orderno if we can as well. Basically, if we keep those two happy, be good. Bosh. Even if they now get strong enough to rebel, we've got two of the biggest locked in now, which is key. Just PM me at a roadmap. Oh, nice one. Thanks for that. Yeah, I'm more vigilant now. Like, this run ends if we get murdered. The most likely problematic outcome right now is us getting murdered. If it happens, run over. But we will see. That's fucking annoying. That's really annoying. Right. We need to think carefully about how we get some of these titles. It's because he died. You know what we should have done? We should have just fucking executed him. When we were still the mother. That's what we should have done. It's because his mum died early. Died from her wounds. That's annoying. But yeah, what I don't get is why we can't convince that territory to join. It says you are the de jure liege, but not the current ruler of the target county. Like, is that because we haven't created the Duchy of Capua? But that can't be right, because we hold the Kingdom of Sicily. And we wouldn't have been able to get Rome if it hadn't been for that. And that's not created. Now the thing is, I can get it. Venice is easy. Venice is de jure Byzantine Empire. So once we're the Byzantine Empire, we'll just vassalize them. This is super easy to get if he pops out a son. Basically, if he pops out a son, we get hold of the son, we kidnap the son, we land them, and then once we've landed them, we kill him, and then the son, because the son will already be a count within our territory, blah blah blah, Capua will join our kingdom. I'm not worried about getting Kapua. Kapua's easy. Essentially, a lot of this stuff is the Byzantine Empire is the big one. She's 44. Watch her pop out like one final sprog just to screw with us. Right, we are 14, so we can start murdering people now if we want to. But I'm reluctant to move our... Oh, we haven't got a court tutor. We should have a court tutor. They are... We need him to be someone who likes us, though. Because they will... are a potential plotter against us. Now we could learn a language, and we probably do want to while we're a kid. What language do we really want to be learning? Language of Aquitaine, maybe? Do we speak that? I think it's in our interest to speak that. You need to be one tier apart for dukes. They don't mind being vassals of emperors. Yeah, no, that's fine. Let's dedicate all our time to it. There you go. And then we probably want to learn Greek, don't we? Yeah, Royal Court really gives you a lot more options in terms of... No, we need a Greek person in our empire. Cultures. We've learned Basque. Should we be doing a Meet the Peers? I mean, this is the massive risk, but let's do it. We just inherited something. What did we just inherit? Because we're back up to 12. And if it's something stupid, we don't want it. Was it Valadoid? What did we just inherit? Chat, we inherited something. I don't know what we inherited. Oh, we've still got Viterbo, which we absolutely don't need. Yeah, I think if we control it, we can limit the chance of us drowning. 83 chance we increase our learning. Yes, please. I would like to purchase a Where Please as one of my favourite dialogue boxes in the game. Yeah, it is quite good, isn't it? I mean, we might get murdered, but if we don't get murdered, I have to say this has been a remarkably smooth transition. And we can take a dynasty legacy. Which one are we taking? We don't need to create faith anymore. Don't think we really need language stuff. Let's take House of Warriors. No, we're not going to be nasty to Nanilla. Still annoyed that he outlived his mum. It's very annoying. There's only a 40% chance we gain Diligent. It wouldn't stress us though. We might want to roll that one. Because we're 15, we come of age in a few months anyway. I think it's worth the gamble because Diligent is freaking incredible if you can get it. Oh, we got Diligent. Nice. And that actually means we're at our domain limit already. Can't just grant his heir a kingdom title and execute him. The problem is his heir is not part of my kingdom. What I actually need to do, frankly, is release him from jail. So you can have a kid that I can kidnap, rather than just going to some rando in his kingdom. So if you could have a child I can kidnap, that would be very much appreciated. And we speak Greek now. I kind of want to learn Mongol. YOLO. I'm interested to see whether the percentage on that drops when we become an adult. Because we're about to become an adult. Why have we not... There we go. With the help of Duke Cassio and the university, I've achieved an understanding of stewardship that far exceeds that of any of my peers. Even though I had a natural inclination towards the subject, my mastery of it is still an achievement. As I take my first steps into adulthood, I find myself reminiscing about some of the people who have made an impact on the woman I have become. The friendship I shared with Non-Alan meant a lot to me when we were both young, and to still have him by my side means a lot. Empress Temujeni, you are a woman now. Gains the trait Midas Touched. 13 months, that's still not bad. We have a stewardship of 27. That's ridiculous. I would like to convert to local culture, please. I think we probably want to go... We are definitely not restoring the Pope to Rome. So we are a 9, 14, 27, 18, 21. Restore his inheritance. Right. We want to get on intrigue. And we're going to go skullduggery. Because we do want to get our murder on as quickly as possible. Right. So our key goals... I feel like we should gear her up now. Gentle Bear and Light Sleeper, thank you very much for the follows. Let's get into the Barbie shop. It's quite a cool dress actually, isn't it? Are we happy with her hair? Do we feel that she would have different hair? Fine curls is quite cool, we don't do that a lot. Apparently we don't get a cloak option. I like the armour. I think that's quite sort of a bit of a nod to her heritage. Fine curls without headband. Yeah, I can go with that. We don't get a cloak. Why don't we get a cloak for her? I feel like we should. We only got Town Dweller, which is a shame. That actually, framing curls with earrings works quite well. Jeweled bun suits her. Or we go framing curls? We go framing curls. Right. We kind of have to marry Alan the dwarf here. Don't really have a choice. Yeah, already did. So there are any early plots we want to get in, because we need to push for kidnapping. So kidnapping is we're going to need to do. What's the plan for Croatia? I mean, what's it technically part of? Isn't it just part of the Byzantine Empire? It's part of the Byzantine Empire. We'll get it when we get Byzantine Empire. I mean, we probably want to push for the vassalization stuff as part of what we do with her. The big thing is working out if there's anything else we can inherit through creative murder. Like, is there stuff we can inherit? So, if all goes to plan, our kids will inherit Byzantium. The other bits we need for Rome. If we get Egypt, we get all the stuff we need there. If we get Jerusalem, we get all the stuff we need there. The Byzantine stuff is covered. Byzantine. We need Croatia, which we will get. We don't need Steiermark. Because that's part of Bavaria. We might need Kranji. I think we do need Kranji. We need to get Kranji off of Duke Andreas. So we need Kranji. Everyone there we're fine with. We need that. And we need all of that. So we do need to get Capua. And we've got all of Sicily. So we're not in a bad state. We're not in a bad state. We do need Constantine. So we need to do some kidnapping and dishing out of counties, basically. And we need to secure within two... Oh, see, this is the difficult one. We need to get Jerusalem inherited into our kingdom. We did slightly fuck up on Egypt. It's mildly annoying. I'm pretty certain Kranji is de jure. Oh no, it's Duchy of Crane. We're fine. We're fine. We are fine. We need Knin, but once with the Byzantines, that'll be easy. Because it's only a negative opinion thing that's stopping it, really. These 3 titles are our tricky stuff. We need to marry her into our kingdom. And I think I know how we do it. We use Galicia. When our dad dies, we inherit Galicia, unless he pops out another sprog. But we could kill his sprogs. Dad, can't you divorce, please? Dad, can we murder your wife? Yeah. Because if we gave out Galicia, and we're able to get her heir, we do have Brittany. This is true. Brittany would do it. But yeah, essentially these are the 3 hard bits. We need to get that via our kid. And we need to get at least one of these into our kingdom. So that the other one we can always inherit. Because they are both vulnerable to the king matching. Because essentially we just marry them to an existing king. Or make someone a king. We have options, basically. I think Temujini's reign is going to be good. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I think we're going to push on abduction. So we need to push on Kidnapper and a job done right. Essentially we need to push on Schemer. We complete Schemer out, and let's just double check that we haven't got anything that gives us scheming boosting. I don't think we do have any... I don't think we have any Royal Court books that boost scheming. But let's double check. Learning, stewardship. I mean, hostile scheme resistance plus 20. There we go. Andalusian Compendium of Poisons. And let's see if we've got any daggers. Because daggers will often boost it. Nope, doesn't look like it. So we'll stick with our Toledo Master Sword. But that's fine. That's fine. I mean, if you think about it, we've had a remarkably smooth transition. We managed to dodge any kind of rebellion, which is pretty good going for us.